Hi, my name's Alana and I'm a yoga teacher, and whilst we've been in isolation, I've had a couple of my friends ask me if I can record some yoga lessons. So this video is essentially for anyone with little to no yoga experience. It's going to be a sort of introduction to what yoga is and a first look at how to use breath in a yoga practice. So I think everyone pretty much knows what yoga is today, but actually it started out as a really ancient practice and belief. But yoga came from Tantra, and originally they were both a form of expanding the human consciousness and becoming one's higher self. So long before yoga was a physical practice and a way of exercising, it was much more to do with meditation and connecting to yourself. In Sanskrit, which is the origin language of yoga, yoga actually translates to unity, or you could say oneness. So that can be interpreted in many forms, but I translate it as a sort of a combination between the mind, the emotions, the breath, and the physical practice / movement of the body. All of these aspects are equally important within yoga, but most people, including myself, will just start out with a physical practice. They might start to bring in the breath, and then eventually it will kind of develop into something more mindful. There are two words in Sanskrit that I'd like to introduce you to. Those are asana and pranayama. Asana translates to something like comfortable posture. So it's essentially the yoga poses. You might hear your teacher saying things like balasana, tadasana, malasana. Those are Sanskrit words for the yoga poses. Many teachers use sort of a combination between Sanskrit words and English translations of postures whilst they're teaching, so it's kind of good to listen out for those. Pranayama is basically the use of breath or breath control within yoga. Prana actually translates to life source or universal energy. It's essentially the energy and the vibration that runs through all living things as well as inanimate objects. It kind of powers the world. So when we talk about practicing pranayama and practicing breath control, it's more than just breathing in and out. It's actually more to do with using your breath to control the energy flow within your body. So breath control in yoga can be really important and really beneficial. It can help you get through a practice, get deeper into stretches, it keeps you focused and connected to your body at all times. There are so many different types of pranayama, but the breath that I recommend using during my classes is called Ujjayi breath. So the first method I was shown for practicing Ujjayi breath, my teacher told us to imagine that we were fogging up a piece of glass. So we held out our palms in front of us like this, and then we started to breathe on our hands as if we were fogging up the glass like this. So that's very audible, very loud. And then the next step is to close down your mouth but do the exact same thing. So you're going again, your breath is audible. Ujjayi should be audible and it should be quite loud, and that might feel uncomfortable at first, but you will get used to it. It's going to be really beneficial, I promise you. So your task is to practice that audible breath both on the inhale and the exhale. It goes something like this. You can start to think of the exhale like a big sigh or a release of energy. It's something that we do naturally in everyday life anyway. If we're frustrated or anxious or fed up or something, you sigh without even realizing it. You're just like, and that's because you're releasing that negative energy. Teachers always talk you through inhaling and exhaling whilst you're doing a yoga class, but I know that for a beginner it can get really confusing, especially if you're focusing a lot on new poses you've not done before. It's hard to think about breathing as well. But a general rule would be that if you are lengthening or extending, you'll need to inhale. And if you are twisting, folding, or shortening, you'll need to exhale. So that's all for now. I know that was just a scratch at the surface of yoga as a whole, but I hope it was useful, and I hope that you are getting excited about starting your new yoga practice. Hopefully you're going to be watching some of my future classes, and please let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!